Welcome back to Clean with Kate. And it's Saturday afternoon. I'm just waiting for some guests to arrive. But I thought I'd be in the garden. But whoops! Oh my goodness, what happened? Sorry about that. My camera fell over. That's just how I break my phone. Anyway, now I'm dropping the timer. I thought you might like to join me for some cleaning. I'm just going to do some zone work. So I'm going to be doing some detailed vacuuming. I've got Hetty out. I'm going to be doing some detailed vacuuming. I'm going to vacuum this room. I'm going to get all the sort of cobwebs and that sort of stuff. I'm going to vacuum into that entrance hall. I'm not going to tackle under the stairs, I don't think, because I'd have to declutter it first. And if I've got time, I'm going to vacuum the stairs. Right, let's get going. Let's get plugged in first, Kate. I don't normally do housework on a Saturday, but as we've got guests coming and I've been in the garden and I just need it, the weather is amazing, but actually I needed a break from the sun. So let's get plugged in. And the dogs are just amusing themselves nicely at the moment, although I can hear woofing. So let's get going with this. It's lovely and sunny and warm in here. I've got a t-shirt on. Hetty does sound a bit depowered, so I just wonder if she needs her bag changing. I noticed that the other day. My husband's checked her over and he doesn't think she's sucked anything up. I've actually got the hard floor tool on, which is not ideal for the carpets, but it's better than... I'm just going to do it, and I'm going to run the Dyson over them, I think, if I have time. It depends if my visitors arrive. I was expecting them this morning, but then there was a slight change of plan, so now they're coming this afternoon. So I thought, well, I hadn't got anything planned, so why don't I just get on with it? I've been thinking about doing it all week, so I thought I haven't had a lot of time or enthusiasm for cleaning this week, so I thought I'd get on with it while I'm in the mood. Right, I need to get into the corners though, don't I? Because this is a detail clean, even though I'm doing it quite speedy. I hope I don't make you sick or dizzy. I think I'm going to put the dusting brush on to get into the corners because that's really handy. It's pretty tidy at the moment. I do tend to keep this room fairly tidy, although this little room does get messy. This is a bit of a dumping ground, this room, where I keep my workout stuff and coats and vacuums. But I'm not going to worry too much about that right now. Just watch these flowers that I don't knock them off. I'm going to get behind there with the dusting brush. Right, oh, I've done it again. What is it with me in this vacuum? Whoops. So let's pop that on there. And let's get back here. And just do the skirting boards. I think I'll do the bottom of the stairs as well while I'm at it. So I happened to notice when I was going up the other day, they were quite cobwebby. And if I've got time, I'll do the whole staircase. What's that saying? Just take the first step, don't look at the whole staircase. Is that Martin Luther King? I think it is. That definitely applies here. Just get the first step done. Sometimes these tasks, they seem overwhelming, but they're really not if you break them down into smaller tasks. Right, I want to get back here. Oh, without knocking the plants over, it's going to be a bit of a challenge. Just be a bit careful because I don't want to damage my plants. There's some dead insects on the windowsills. Just vacuum those up. Well, it's actually really warm in here today. And there's a lot of plant material on the floor. So I don't really want that sucking up my vacuum cleaner and blocking it. It's so easily done. Let me just see if I can adjust so you get a better view. You're not getting a very good view at the moment, are you? And I have got a kneeler somewhere that I use when I'm working out. I use it for anything which involves kneeling. It was given to me by a very good friend for Christmas. It was a very good gift. Thank you. You never know, she might be watching. Alright. Let's go into this corner. That corner is proving quite troublesome. I'm having to move a lot of stuff to get in there. This one, I know there's a lot. There's always loads of debris around here. I think we must have a resident spider who catches things and then he drops all the debris. We used to have a huge spider living here, but there's always cobwebs. Ah, that's interesting. Do you know, I wonder where that charger was. Oh my goodness. It's covered in cobwebs, so it must have been there a while. I think it's off a set of speakers. And I've been looking for that charger for ages. And it turns out it's down here. I don't know how I managed to miss it last month. Hiding in plain sight. Let's put it over here, so in the laundry basket, so I don't forget it. Good. There's the cobwebs down here. It doesn't seem like any time since I last did this. The months and the weeks are just passing so quickly at the moment, especially with the nice weather. So the reason what I'm doing is with my detail clean, I go into the corners, whereas if I was just doing a speed clean, I wouldn't go into the corners. I do the skirting boards and the cobwebs. Lift the carpets. Oh, golly, getting quite tired already. I think it is much warmer. It's incredibly warm today in the house. Right, am I going to be able to get this chair out and get under it? That's what I was trying to do a minute ago, but it was just proving quite difficult. I was getting out of breath. Well, the paint under here, it must be been quite damp over winter, because the paint is just peeling off this floor, which is a bit of a concern. Quite hard on your knees this as well. There's a lot of squatting involved. Do you know it's not going to be perfect when I finish because all the paint is peeling off, but it's just going to be better than it was. In an old house like this, you never ever get everything done. You just have to do a bit more than you did last time, or a different thing than you did last time. Something is better than nothing. Over winter, this room can be quite a cold room, because you can probably see I've got a couple of fan heaters in here for when I'm working out. But I've worked out in here today and I didn't need the fan heaters. It just shows you how warm it's been. Because normally we don't put a lot of heating on in the house at the moment, because the cost of heating a house like this with oil is so expensive. We've been trying to use a bit more electricity this year because we've got solar panels. And so I'm using the fan heaters when I just want to heat a room up quickly for a short period of time, rather than putting all the heating on. Right, well, you can hear there's all sorts. There's a drawing pin there. I've no idea where that came from. It's just got sucked out. Well, I'm glad I didn't end up with that in my foot. I'm just going into the corners at the moment. I'm not going to move all these things here. These are one of my decluttering projects. I'm going through these old suitcases because they are full of old out of season clothes that I'm working my way through. At the change of the season, I get some out and I decide what I'm keeping. Right. Whew. Okay, golly, I'm not going very far, have I? And I've forgotten to set the timer. Oh my goodness, I've been going for 8 minutes, but because there's a timer on the video. I think this timer must be broken. Won't start. Oh dear, that's annoying. I have a broken timer. Oh well, I did set it, it just didn't go. Let's just dust the top of this while I'm here. And then that can go back against the wall. Oh. A little bit of grit in there. Right, I think I'm going to change heads. Now, what did I do with the staircase tool? I know I brought it through here. Aha, there it is. Right, I'm going to pop the staircase tool on. This might be quite tricky with the phone harness. I'm not sure how far we'll get, but I'm just going to do what I can. Just so I know at least some of it's been done. This only tends to get done when we're in zone 1. So I only vacuum this staircase because it's a big staircase. I only vacuum it once a month. In an ideal world, I would do it every week. And maybe I'll build up to that. It could do with being done every week because it is a high traffic area. How often do you vacuum your staircase? I think because it's got carpet on it, it makes it Makes it harder work. Is that me being silly, or what do you think? I have a painted staircase with no carpet on at the cottage, and we tend to vacuum that and wash it every time we go. But this feels like harder work to me. Right, I'm halfway up. I know what the problem is. You have to drag Hetty up, and actually that's quite precarious. I have got a smaller vacuum cleaner which comes apart, but I think it's a Black & Decker one, but I don't actually know how to take it apart. I'm going to have to try. I might have to pause and bring Hetty up so I can finish this job while I've got time to do it. Right, let's just pop that there so I don't trip over it. I'm just going to pause for a second while I carry Hetty up the stairs. Okay, Hetty is now moved upstairs, but I must be careful not to trip over this vacuum cord. It is quite dangerous. I do need a cordless vacuum for doing stairs, don't I? Because I hate doing this job. It's one of my most hated jobs, so I need to delegate it to my other half. That's another possibility. Because it's quite physical dragging this vacuum cleaner up. Anyway, let's just keep going. We replaced this carpet about a couple of years ago, because there was an old carpet in here that was in here when we bought the house, and it was really scruffy and it was moth-eaten. But you know what? I didn't really worry about it. It had been in for a long time, and it actually went, when we renovated the house, it went through the build. It had all sorts dropped on it, and because it was old and scruffy, I didn't worry about it. Whereas, because this is a new-ish carpet, my husband really wanted to put a new. It's basically almost identical to what was there, but it's new. And because he wanted to change it, I said, well, if we change it, then you need to be responsible for vacuuming it and looking after it so it doesn't get moth-eaten. And he said he would. But it's been in probably 3 or 4 years, and I don't think he's ever vacuumed it. Whereas before, I just vacuumed it rarely, and it didn't look bad. Whereas now I'm obsessed with worrying about whether it's going to get eaten by moths. So I have to vacuum it regularly. Right, golly. Sorry, I'm having a bit of a whinge. It's because I really dislike vacuuming this carpet. Ugh. It's one of those jobs my least favourite jobs in the house. Please give me your suggestions. What would you do? How can I make this job less hard work? Probably a handheld vacuum is the answer, but do you know what? I don't find that they have as much suck as a Henry or a Hetty. And the brush tool on this is absolutely brilliant. Look at all that fluff it's pulled out. I'm going to put that in my pocket, I think. So otherwise it will probably block it out. But it's just a really good, powerful vacuum. It works so well for this job. Just actual physically, it's quite hard work for me. Also, the other problem we've got is our stair rods are problematic. Because when the old carpet didn't have any underlay, but when they fitted the new carpet, they insisted on putting an underlay down, even though we asked them not to. And of course now the stair rods won't close, so it's actually a bit of a trip hazard. And we asked the guy not to put any underlay down, and he's like, oh, I can't fit it without the underlay. He refused to fit it without the underlay. So if you've paid to have underlay, you have to have underlay, or the carpet won't last as well. But it would have been a lot better for us if we hadn't had the underlay, even though it might not be as good for the carpet. Right, I'm just going to pause while I sort myself out and get Hetty back downstairs. We're back downstairs and the carpet is vacuumed, and I've been going for 14 minutes. Oh my goodness. Right, let's see if we can get a bit more done in the other bit of the hall. Have I finished vacuuming this? I did want to put the Dyson on this, but that might have to wait for now. Let me just put this back and Let's see if I can just run the vacuum over the carpet so I know at least it's had a once over. How much stuff is in this one? Let me have a quick look. Well, not too bad. I will get it off though so it'll pick up better, won't it? Right, off we go again. This is a very intensive 15-minute vacuuming session on zone 1 in the FlyLady system. We are recording, are we? Yes, we are. And we're going, woo, purple case. Do you know, I think I'm on top of my hotspots. I was looking around earlier, I thought I'll just do a hotspot, and they're not bad. They are not bad at all. If you don't follow the FlyLady cleaning system, a hotspot is an area where things accumulate, and it's usually a flat surface. So in our house, it's things like kitchen tables, entrance hall tables. Any flat surface basically can become a hotspot, and I have quite a few hotspots tend to accumulate at the bottom of the stairs. Oh my goodness, actually there's an enormous one under the stairs. That is a hotspot. So they're just those dumping grounds in your house where you dump things and you think, oh, I'll deal with that later. Another one, I have one on the landing upstairs of things that I'm thinking about either taking up to the attic or they're planning on travelling downstairs. So, and my husband often has a hotspot at the bottom of the stairs, as do I, of things that I'm planning to take upstairs. One thing that I find really useful is to keep a basket at the bottom of the stairs, because in a house like this, you don't want to be going up and downstairs every 2 minutes, because it is a big staircase. And so what I do is have a basket there every day, have a basket upstairs, so things that need to go up and down, I just pop them in the basket. And then next time I'm going up, I take the basket up. I find that just saves me being up and down the stairs quite so much. When we first moved here, this house has 3 stories. And when we first moved here, we moved from a house with fewer stairs. It just had one very short staircase. So I wasn't having it, and it was a much smaller house. Oh God, it's so much smaller. But I didn't have to go up and down stairs. Wasn't up and down stairs as much. And the stairs were much smaller. And when we first moved here, my knees, oh my goodness, my knees couldn't cope with all the up and down stairs. I got really, really sore knees because they just weren't used to it. But luckily, they seem to have, now I've lived here for quite a long time, 12 years in fact. Right, I'm going into the downstairs loo. While I'm here, I'm right next to it. I don't think it got done on weekly home blessing this week. In fact, I'm pretty certain it didn't. I'm just going to have a quick whiz round. So it's company ready. Oops, if the cable will stretch, I will. Sure, it's really satisfying to end up doing something that you didn't think you'd have time to do. It's very satisfying. I love it. I love that feeling when the house is put together and company ready. I need to do the dining room carpet next, so I might unplug and come to here. That's quite a job. I have to put all the chairs out. It might actually be time for me to have a nice cup of tea and a sit down. I'll put my feet up for a bit. Seeing as it's such a beautiful day, and it is Saturday, and do this later. I do need to check this carpet for moth damage. This carpet quite often gets moth damage over winter, where the little grubs live in the carpets. So if you've got wool carpets, if you get moths, it's such a problem. But hopefully, I haven't seen any moths. I see one moth, I think, actually. I did see a moth the other day. But hopefully we haven't got too many. And I'll be able to catch them. But if you see a moth, they're little silver moths. They're very small. If you've got wool carpets or wool jumpers or wool coats, if you see a small silver moth in your house, I wouldn't let it stay. Because they lay little eggs in your carpets and then the little grubs eat your carpets. We didn't have the moths when we moved here. We bought an old carpet at auction actually, and we left it rolled up for a little while before we dealt with it, put it down, and it was full of moth eggs. And while we were thinking about what we were going to do with it, they all hatched out and they all went all over the house. So it was a huge mistake. Luckily, they're only confined to the part of the house where the carpet was being stored, which is the main house. And they haven't moved into the kitchens or the barn or any of that part of the house, but they're in the lounge, they're in the dining room, they're in the entrance hall, and they're in the upstairs. So this is the old part, well, the big part of the house. Golly, I think that's time. Do you think it's time for a breather? What do you think? Or should I keep going? I'm so out of breath. I think I need to sit down. I could go and put the kettle on, couldn't we? Should we go and put the kettle on and then finish the dining room? Would you like to join me while we make a cup of tea? Oh my goodness, I'll put that away while the kettle's brewing. The tea's brewing. I might have to pause while I drink my tea. Let's just go put the brush away. This is real life cleaning. I should probably go check on the puppies and see what they're up to, because they're very quiet, which is always a bit of a worry. I've put them out and they're playing but it's a bit of a worry when they're so quiet, because they're not usually quiet. Let's pop their dog bowls in the cupboard. I can't make tea while I've got stuff drying on the Aga. Right. Do you know what? I'm not going to pause, I don't think, because whenever I pause, I have a habit of switching the camera off if I pause. I did it earlier. Making a video, and I think I've managed to clip the second half of the video completely, lose the half. I didn't even realise I'd done it. So I was doing a house tour, but I think the house tour was about 30 minutes long. But I think I only actually recorded 18 minutes of it. And I'd done a garden tour, and I don't think the garden tour's on there. Some of it's on there, but not all of it, unfortunately. Just a shame. It was only a short tour, because I'm getting ready for my guests. Right, and also puppy binding. Let me just see what they're up to. Oh, and I'm starting to limp again, which is probably a sign I do need to sit down. No, they're being good. They are just playing. I can see them. My husband's out in the garden doing some gardening because the weather's absolutely gorgeous, and they're just playing next to him. What time are we on? It is 3:45 on Saturday afternoon. I wouldn't normally do housework on a Saturday, but I was feeling quite motivated today, so here I am. Right, what shall I make my cup of tea in? I'm going to have this cup, I think. I love this cup. It's just such a pretty little cup, isn't it? It's a china mug. It's called the Kitchen Garden. And I love it. My daughter gave it me as a gift a few years ago, either for Christmas or a birthday. And I love it. It sparks joy in me every time I use it. It was a really, really lovely gift. So let's pop my tea bag in. I suppose I could go and plug the vacuum in ready, couldn't I? Do you know, it's looking a lot better in here. I'm pleased. I am pleased. That wasn't a terribly detailed clean in there, was it? It was a bit of slipshod. A bit of a slipshod detail clean. It wasn't my best ever detail clean. I think I'm aware of the time. Oh, and I've got a kneeler in here, which just means I've probably got to kneel down to do into the corners. Right. While that kettle's boiling, I could make a start. Let's go and get my other bits and bobs. This is turning into quite a long zone 1 clean, isn't it? Where did I put the other head? I need to put my weight bar away as well. So I could do a bit of tidying up, because part of the zone 1 work is tidying up in zone 1. So let's put my weighted bar away. What is that in there? I think that might be a donate bag. Oh, that's some trainers that I'm probably going to donate. I've donated loads of pairs of trainers recently. I think those are going as well. Oh, golly, I've just spotted cobwebs. Oh, I missed some. Right, I haven't vacuumed around the fireplace. I need to come back and do that, but maybe not today. Right. Yeah, I'm definitely starting to limp now, so maybe I do need to call it a day when the kettle boils. Right, I've lost the dusting brush as well. I think I put it away. I did put it away. Right, let's get going. Oops. Let's do a little bit of a vacuum in here while the kettle's boiling, because I did fill it, so it probably gives me at least 3 minutes for it to boil. I don't know how hot the Aga is. 3 minutes is something, isn't it? How much can I get done while I'm waiting for the kettle to boil? Because the conservatory only gets attention, usually when we're in zone 1 actually. I mean, it gets watered almost every day at the moment. certainly every other day. But it only gets a vacuum when I'm in this zone. Because the house is big, I have to zone it. And in fact, even before, when I lived in a much smaller house, I still used zones. Because it just makes housework so much more manageable. And you know where to start. Oh, I think I'm going to have to brush this floor a little bit, otherwise I'm going to block Hetty. Let's go onto the carpet. I'm going to have to pull all these chairs out as well. But you know what? It doesn't all have to be done today. We're still in zone 1 tomorrow, and I might get a little bit done. I do really want to check this carpet and see if there's any sign of fresh moth damage. It's an important time of year to check it. And it's a good, because often the moths are hatching out at this time of year. So if you're really good with your vacuuming, you can actually catch them in the vacuum. They say I did see my first moth this week. It's a warm weather, I think. They're coming out. And guys, you know what? I think I might have some moth damage on here. I think I've just vacuumed up a moth cast, which is always a worrying sign. Because when they turn from grubs to moths, they leave like a little scaly thing, which is a little bit like a chrysalis, I suppose. But you get to recognise them. Right. Let's hope we're getting some of them out. It'd be nice if we are catching some before they can do any damage or lay any more eggs. The moths themselves don't do the damage, it's the grubs that do the damage. Oh, I can spot a cobweb. It's very cobwebby at the moment. That is the only problem with zone work. I think because you're only doing it once a month, you quite often miss things like cobwebs. You don't always spot them when you're doing your speed clean, your weekly speed clean. Right, I need to pull all of these chairs out. Oh, I've definitely got some damage here. I can see I've definitely got active moth in this carpet. Oh, what a pain. Do you know, I thought I'd got rid of them. Last year I really thought I'd won the battle. But I can see where they've been hatching out. There's definitely some damage under here. It's a shame because this is a lovely old antique carpet. This isn't the one that brought the moths in. Because we didn't really understand about moths, we actually got rid of the carpet that brought the moths in. We burnt it because we just didn't want any more to come out. Because we'd never experienced moths before. I remember as a child my grandmother talking about moths. And I didn't really, she had moth, she had like a special chest that she kept all her woolies in. But then everything smelled, and they had something called mothballs. But everything smelt of mothballs. And her wardrobe, she had mothballs in her wardrobes. But then all her clothes smelled of mothballs. So mothballs is not a pleasant smell. I've been trying to manage it by occasionally using a chemical on the carpet and vacuuming it regularly. I thought I was on top of it, but this carpet has definitely got damage. I might need to get the Dyson on it actually, because that's much better at pulling the moths out if there are any left in there. I probably need to empty my vacuum bag fairly quickly in case there are any moths inside, but I don't want them flying out. I need to empty it after I've done this. I'm going to leave the chairs pulled out, I think, so I can put them in the Dyson in. It's quite a job this, because I've got so many plants in here. It would have been easier, I think, on myself if I'd moved the plants out. Oh, there's the kettle. Right, I'm just going to move this chair out of the way. I'll take that kettle off. Completely forgotten I put the kettle on. Good job it's got a whistle on it. It's not a kettle that switches itself off. I've got a spray. I've actually got some ant powder. I may put the ant powder on the carpet. I just have to, because dogs don't go in there. Ant powder is very good for getting rid of moths as well, I found. But I think I've got a moth spray. I'll put the moth spray on. Right, time for a cup of tea. I haven't got anything against moths except they eat my carpets. I keep all my wool jumpers in bags now. I learned that lesson. And my coats I keep in the part of the house where we haven't got my wool coats. I keep in the part of the house where we don't have moths. So but it's just the carpets. I can't keep the carpets in bags. Right, it mustn't take too long. I'm gonna set a timer for 3 minutes while that tea brews. Right. Oh, this has turned into a mammoth video. Wasn't expecting it to be this big. A moth video it's turned into, hasn't it? Let me know if you've got any tricks for getting rid of moths. Have you ever had them? Have you managed to get rid of them completely? Oh, the other thing I think I've got is those pheromone traps. Actually, I find they're really good for catching them. They're sort of sticky traps. They're quite cruel, but very effective. If you've ever had moths, please do let me know. How did you get rid of them? Because every year I think I've won the battle, and then I realise, like today, oh, actually, Kate, you haven't won the battle. They're still here. Or you may have won the battle, but you haven't won the war. Oh, this is good. I can vacuum sat down. The places they particularly like are around the legs of the table. That's why I'll probably need to put the moth treatment. Because unless I pull the table out, it's quite difficult to vacuum there. Right. Do you know, I thought we'd be okay in here because it's been so sunny and moths do not like the sun. But actually, I think it's the adult moths that don't like the sun. The grubs don't seem to mind, so that was my stupidity. Not actually realising. I thought the bits of the carpet, they tend to lay their eggs in the shade or under things. But actually, they have laid them in the sunny spots. Oh, right, I think that's probably enough for now, and I do need to empty this bag pretty fast because they could fly out. Right, I need to leave these chairs out of the way though. Got to get to my cable. I haven't actually finished vacuuming the conservatory yet, but I need to brush that first. So I think I'm starting to flag and I want my cup of tea. So I'm going to take a break. And just pop this out of the way. I think it could probably go there for now, because I'm not using this door today, hopefully, unless I get a delivery. But I'm going to empty this bag. If I can get it apart. Oh my goodness. See how full it is. It doesn't actually feel that full, but you know, no, it is. It could be fuller, but you know, I just don't want these moths flying out. So I'm going to get rid of it. And then I'm going to need to empty the bin. One thing leads to another, doesn't it? Unless I double bag. I could double bag. Have I got a carrier bag I could double bag? Yes, I have. I'm going to double bag. That means if any moths do fly out, hopefully they won't, it's double bagged. I'm not quite ready to empty this bin yet, but maybe I should just do it. I think that's probably pretty good seal now, unless this has got holes in it. I think I sealed them in. Oh, right. Good, the time is going. That must mean the tea is ready. And you know what? I think I might call it a day there. Let's cancel the timer and then take the tea bag out. And I'm going to go and sit on a sun lounger with my cup of tea and wait for my guests. I don't know what time they're going to be. They're travelling from London, so it's anybody's guess, to Norfolk on a Saturday. On a sunny day. The roads could be bad or they could be good, but hopefully they won't have too bad a journey. Hopefully they'll have a good journey. But I'm going to take a little rest now so I don't burn myself out, and then I might just go and freshen up, put some perfume on, be ready to receive my guests. That's turned into more of a crisis clean than anything else, hasn't it? Anyway, thank you for joining me. I hope you're having a good weekend. Bye for now.